Welcome back to another week of Instigating with Clarkey and Drury, brought to you by our friends at Conway Furniture, Highway 86, east end of Listowel. Our friends at Larry Hudson, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and of course, the Listowel Squash Courts. We'll hear from all of them later. Ryan Drury back here with Chris Clark. Very pleased to be joined by our great friend, a friend of the show, Sportsnet The Fan590 producer and host, Mike Gentile, back on the program with us. Mike, how are you?
Hey, thanks for having me back. Friend of the show. We've crossed a new territory. That's good.
Well, of course. It's like
the new level of the relationship.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely. We're still, and hopefully we're still in the honeymoon phase, because I don't know if the San Francisco 49ers fans and maybe even their front office are in that honeymoon phase anymore with their head coach and some of their players after that Super Bowl performance. And performance aside, just what came out after, admitting some of them and Shanahan backing up that they didn't know the overtime rules in a championship game. This is unacceptable in a preseason game, Mike. What was your overall impression of those statements coming out after the game and another failed attempt to try and get a title in the Bay?
So during the game, I get it. They gave up a 10-point lead, but it was early, right? And they came back and retook that lead 3 times. So I wasn't really into this whole Shanahan choked conversation until we got to overtime. And to be honest, the end of the fourth quarter, they really blew it. And I think they choked pretty badly. And I don't like using that word, but and choke doesn't mean that there's just something wrong with you. Sometimes choked is not a insult. Sometimes it's a compliment to the other team. Like Kansas City is so good, they make you do dumb things. And so if you go back prior to the overtime, you got to remember 2-minute warning. They got the ball. It's a 2nd and 5. If they get that first down, they could bleed the clock and leave Mahomes with either 0 time or not much time left. What did they call it 2nd and 5 when you have McCaffrey? They called pass and pass. Then they asked their wonky kicker to make another 50-yard plus field goal, which he did. And then you handed Mahomes all the time in the world to come back. They totally blew it there with their clock management, because had they handed it off, and you're asking McCaffrey to get 2.5 yards of carry, you need 5 yards to essentially clinch the game. So they blew it. Then you get to overtime, not knowing the rules. And by the way, Tony Romo also didn't know the rules, if you notice that part. Nance had to remind him, like, no, the game would not have ended on a touchdown here, by the way. But when they elected to receive, I get it, that's what's normally goes down in overtime. You want the ball, but not in these rules. And it was very clear that the Chiefs had a plan. The Chiefs said if San Francisco scored a touchdown, they would have gone back the other way, tried to score a TD, and they would have went for 2. They wouldn't have just tied the game and handed the ball over and let them win with a field goal. Mm-hmm. So they clearly had a plan. San Fran had no plan. You got 2 weeks. It's
crazy.
How is it possible in the 2 weeks? That's not a scenario you have to look at. So, I mean, as much as you don't want to blame Shanahan or whatever, that's a disgrace. Like not knowing the rules. Like, it's even a disgrace if Romo calling the game didn't know the rules and he didn't. I mean, we all barely knew ourselves. I don't know who you guys are watching with, but I found myself Googling again just to remind myself, okay, what is this rule again if they score this, that, or whatever? But as a team, like, there's just no excuse. I mean, with total oversight, and you lost the game because of it. Let's be honest. That was such a factor because you started with that ball. It's a huge advantage to go the other way. So there were wonky things. There was that the phantom punt that went off the foot and that handed Kansas City 7 points there. I thought that was big. I thought the missed point after screwed them up, because 17-13 is way different than 16-13. You really forced the Chiefs to do a different thing. At that point, Kansas City was just like, let's just keep tying this game up. We'll be fine. But yeah, I was literally shocked when I heard that there were people admitting they didn't know the rules. You can't.
Yeah. It's
this is a Super Bowl. This is a Super Bowl.
I know. It's okay for you and I, but it's not okay for the teams.
I don't care if you're unbelievable. If special teams, whoever, to not know the rules is ridiculous.
It is.
The spread, by the way, was anywhere between 1, 2, 2.5, whatever. So the idea of an overtime is not exactly shocking. Like,
exactly.
To sort of say, guys,
I never thought that would happen.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And talk about spreads, like Kansas City doesn't seem to be getting like they were the underdogs going through most of the playoffs and like
every game, Clarkey.
early Super Bowl for next year. They're not even the favorites. What do they have to do, Gentile, to really get people thinking that this is a dynasty in the making? Like two in a row is not enough.
There's nothing they could do. People are just dumb when it comes to this stuff. They do with the Chiefs what we did with the Patriots. Started counting them out. So I like Kansas City right from the start of the playoffs all the way through. And my theory was we bet against Brady too many times, assumed they were finished too many times, and they go and burn you. So until they lose, you got to go with them. And they went about it in a weird way because I thought they were arrogant to try to win Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill. Like you had the most dynamic receiver maybe we've ever seen, and you're trying to win without this guy? Like, it makes no sense. And then you realize getting another wide receiver wouldn't make the Chiefs much better. What makes them better is keeping that quarterback and having a killer defense. If you have a killer defense with that quarterback, you can't beat them. And they just proved that. And the funny thing is, they're doing it just like Brady. They're making stars out of nobodies. They don't have huge names with wide receivers. And you know what Mahomes doesn't do? He doesn't make mistakes. And his game, even though he's very flashy, that was more of a couple of years ago. The last 2 years, a little more dry, a little more boring, a little more dink and dunks and 5 and 10 yards here. There's not a ton of huge plays down the field, but they're just going to knife you all the way down. He's kind of playing the way Brady was playing late in his career, if you think about it.
I completely agree. Yeah. And I'm a diehard Patriots fan, so I saw all the best of that. And I agree. Like he's taking what the defenses are giving him, and the last 2 years without Tyreek, where they could just run pistol routes and go routes and send him down the field in man coverage, similar to what the Patriots were trying to do all the time when Randy Moss was there. And same kind of thing. Like they never won a Super Bowl with Moss. It ended up being a few years later, the second dynasty, if you will, with Edelman on the team. Edelman was the headline guy. But yeah, it ends up resulting in another Super Bowl win. Clarkey, what did you think of some of what we saw on Sunday?
Well, I mean, I thought it was, first of all, I wish the golf had been finished before the Super Bowl started, but because we were flipping back and forth, but we can get into that later. But the Mahomes-Brady conversation is going to continue until Mahomes retires. Where do you see it right now, Gentile, and where do you see it ending?
I hate this conversation. These GOAT conversations.
Glad I asked the question then.
They're so no. And here's my point. It's unfair to Brady, and it's even unfair to Mahomes. Like, if you want to say his pace is right up there or better, of course it is, right? But we've seen with this Ovechkin chase of Gretzky, we've seen with Belichick chasing Shula, you can be on pace all you want, but it doesn't matter until you get to the end. Like there's no
sure.
When Brady beat the Seahawks, it was number 4. And it was like, he tied Montana. We're kind of there. Can we make him the best? Probably. Then he wins number 5 after that comeback against the Falcons. Then it's like, well, it's kind of hard to argue against the guy. He passed him, and he did that in the Super Bowl. Then he wins number 6. Then he wins number 7. So like the debate died. Like it's totally dead.
Yeah,
I think Mahomes is the greatest I've seen with my eyes in terms of what he's been able to do. I think he's on pace. And maybe we need to stop comparing him to Tom Brady and just say to ourselves, like, how many could he get in general? Like, Tom played in 10 Super Bowls. Like, he lost 3. Tom could have got to 10 rings. Like, maybe Mahomes could get that high. So I think we should just look at what's in the moment. But, like, people trying to make the case that Mahomes is better than Brady today, it is an impossible argument. I dare anyone to try, because you couldn't do it. Because if Patrick Mahomes were to retire today, you wouldn't say that's the greatest. No. That would be like, oh, the potential. He could have been the greatest, right?
Yeah.
Like what argument do people use today for Mahomes over Brady all time? It's not the MVPs. It's not the rings. It's nothing. Like there is no argument. The difference is now, if you compare where Brady was in his career versus Mahomes now, Mahomes is way ahead. He's ahead in every stat. He's like, it took Brady 3 Super Bowls to grow into this incredible quarterback. Mahomes had it like year 1. So his pace is great. But I find what we do when we have these GOAT conversations is all we're doing is taking two great athletes and then trying to diminish one of them. So instead of propping one up, we're trying to diminish, right? And it's hard. Like even like Randy Moss was saying yesterday, he's like, okay, Mahomes has done this, that, and whatever. He goes, what were the weapons that Brady had early in his career? Because Brady didn't have Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. Possibly the best tight end of all time, possibly one of the most dynamic receivers of all time, Andy Reid, that sort of thing. So if you want to go down that road, it's just dumb because they're just different. They're just different. So why not say, you know what? He's at 3 rings. He tied Troy Aikman. He's in a group that only Montana, Bradshaw, and Brady have more. And I'm comfortable saying at his 3 probably looks as or more impressive than the 4 that those other 2 guys had. And let's see where he ends up. But to try to make the case that he is today the GOAT and the greatest of all time, it's actually such a phony argument that it falls apart on itself. And it's not fair to anyone in it. Right?
I agree, and I will entertain the argument because I'm the biggest Tom Brady fan of all time, and he provided me with the most thrilling moments I've ever seen, including highlighted by that Atlanta Falcons comeback, which, by the way, Kyle Shanahan was the offensive coordinator on the other sideline watching that happen and played way too conservatively in that second half. Mind you, their defense was on the field the entire time. It's a hard argument. I'll say that, like, no question, Mahomes is the best quarterback I've seen at completely taking over and sucking all the air out of games since Tom. He's better than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has 1 Super Bowl, and in that Super Bowl, he played pretty good. Mahomes he's better than Peyton Manning. I'm sorry. Like Peyton, the second Super Bowl he won, he was literally carried by his defense. He couldn't lift his throwing arm, even with the steroids. And he couldn't beat Brady head to head in the playoffs. So he's way ahead. Big Ben, name all the big guys over the last 20, 25 years. He's light years ahead of them. You know, people, I think the argument they're trying to make is he's better than Brady because of the way he's doing it. It's more highlight reel. He gets out of the box. He can make plays with his legs. We saw him get another crucial first down, 2 of them actually in that Super Bowl. My argument to that is that's generally not what I want out of a quarterback. I don't care if you run down the field 40 yards. Did you win? Yes, and he won, and his legs are part of an arsenal that Brady did not employ. But that's because Brady is the greatest field general we will ever see. There's nobody that will ever, in my mind, until I see someone win 7 of them, let alone one of those 7 with another team in the first year learning a new playbook. No one will ever be better at reading defenses than him. He won 3 Super Bowls in his first 4 seasons. Mahomes didn't do that. And it's great. Yeah, he's on this pace. The thing with Tom that makes him so, almost a mystic figure now, he's been retired for 2 years and people are writing him off, that's what bothers me about the argument. If Mahomes does this, I'll give him his flowers. But Brady hit the age of 30, which Mahomes hasn't even hit yet, which is amazing. But he hit the age of 30, 32, and put the pedal through the floor. He had the greatest run in that age bracket. He had 2 separate dynasties, for God's sake. And in the middle of that, won a few MVPs, the first unanimous one in history, by the way. Mahomes needs to do this when he's 38, 39, maybe even 40. Because if he can't keep this pace up that deep into his career, there's no way he could be better than Brady. Oh, by the way, head-to-head, he's 0-2 against Tom Brady. And in the Super Bowl they played when Tampa stomped them, Mahomes was awful.
It was awful.
Awful.
And
you're going to tell me that he's better than Brady? No thanks.
Here's the people how do you define better? What does that mean? People are like, the way they do it or this. It's wins and rings. And I think with Mahomes, he doesn't even need to get to 7 to be the best. Like, I think if he wins a couple more, you could have the conversation a bit more depending on how he does it. But people that spend all this time on it's like they're playing a game that's never been created, And so the rules are always changing. So people don't even, they're just pissing in the wind with these arguments. So just, and you know what we should never do, and we do it all the time. We want to eliminate the past. Brady was only 2 years ago, and we already want to question this guy. Joe Montana was the greatest quarterback for years and years. No one saw him play, so no one wants to talk about him. So he's not even in the conversation. Not because he wasn't good, because no one saw him.
I did. I saw him.
Right? I saw him. That was like my first 2 Super Bowls I watched were his last 2. And there was no one, even Brady for years, that was in that category. And to be honest, he still went 4 for 4, never lost in a Super Bowl. You know, start making different kind of arguments and that kind of stuff. He kind of did what Jordan did, never lost in the biggest game. So if someone wanted to make that case, I would say go ahead. Like it's a subjective thing, but I just think we could do better as sports fans and journalists and sports media people than just who's better, this guy or this guy. Like it you know, like a lot of those conversations do not make sense. I think you got to look at the pace and look at what they're on. So like if Ovechkin passes Gretzky, he's the greatest goal scorer of all time. Like Wayne's done. Alex takes the lead. No, he may win that record, but like we could just be better with how we're trying to have these arguments. And it's too much like, do you like this ice cream or do you like this one? And you can only pick one or the other.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. There's often not a lot of nuance to the arguments, but that's why we like having them, because they're fun debates. And when you're talking about 2 all-time greats, which Mahomes absolutely is. He's an all-time great. He could retire today. He's going into Canton first ballot. And I'm excited to see what he's got left. He's got a lot of career ahead of him. But I just think that, you know, as you mentioned, you know, the Montana thing, perfect in Super Bowls. Like every guy you bring up within reason that you want to, you know, dissect their careers, that's where you have to start splitting hairs. And for everybody, they're going to want to split a different one to feed their argument. I don't know. It's an interesting debate for sure. Here's an interesting debate as well. Mike, is it time for someone else to be running the Department of Player Safety in the NHL, which I still think is a farcical name for the department? It's the NHL Department of George Peros Thinks Today. That's what I like to call it. What did you make of the Rielly 5-gamer? Because I thought, based on some of the other suspensions we've seen this year, which we can dissect for sure, I thought it was a little harsh. What were your thoughts?
I think they reached a number that everyone can kind of be okay with. It was very expected to land on that 5. If he got more than 5, it would have been ridiculous. If he got 2, people would have argued against that as well. Personally, it was like, what should he get versus what is he going to get? Like I thought, for me personally, 1 or 2 games. It was not a big, to me, it wasn't a 5+ type of suspension, but I agree, and saw what was going to potentially happen. So the 5 wasn't shocking to me, put it that way. It's such a great debate because you could debate whether he should have done something or not. You could debate, if you agree he should have done something, was that the right thing to do? You could debate, is it too many hard feelings about how he got scored against? Is there something wrong with how someone scores an empty net? Blah, blah, blah. At the end of the day, listen, Greg made an idiotic move. He made an instigative type of move, and he even texted some of his former teammates saying, why did I do that? It was stupid. He made a stupid move. When you do something that is stupid, you open yourself up for people to do other things that are stupid or worse. I think Rielly did the right thing. I thought it was heroic, to be honest. I'm so on side with Morgan Rielly right now. I thought it was excellent what he did. And you know what? Screw it if he gets suspended. Now, should he have maybe just shoved him or punched him in the face? He probably could have picked something other than the cross check to the face. But like, you got to remember, look, and like we're watching it now, 1, 2, 3, not even 3 seconds. It wasn't, to me, this premeditated thing where he was stalking him down the ice for half the period. I think it was a heat in the moment thing. I didn't think he was thinking, I'm going to cross check him. I think he was thinking, I'm going to hit this guy. So if I'm looking at the play, and if you want to start including people's backgrounds and their characters, this is a guy that for most of the year didn't even have a penalty. Like he was in like Lady Bing conversations. So if you want to look at it that way, he's got a clean record. And so when you watch the video does explain it as cross-checking happens sometimes within the course of a game. This was after the whistle, after a play. He had time to change his mind. By the time he got there, he knew what he was doing, blah, blah, blah. I felt it was harsh. I think that the department gets ripped often. I don't think they're incompetent or dumb. I think that's a very easy take on them to just assume they're dumb. They know exactly what they're doing. They have a very methodical system, but we could argue that their system produces inconsistent results. And so when we were sitting there yesterday, it could have been a 2-gamer. It could have been 5. Could have been 10. Like, no one knew. No one knew. So they're completely inconsistent. So I think these should be like, Clarkey will remember this. In the past, Coley Campbell was running that department. He'd make his ruling and do media. We would even get calls from the NHL saying, do you want Coley on with Bob tonight? What time is it? 6:05, right? Like they knew exactly. Then it moved into the Shanahan era where they started doing the videos and that sort of thing. Now, like I'm not even sure who voiced that video. I don't think it was someone in the department. I think
it's the same guy all the time. He's
right?
so dramatic.
And now, yeah, very, very dramatic. And now it's almost like there's no forward public facing person from that department. It's just like the department. Like we're even referring to it as the department. It used to be like, what's Shanahan going to do? What's Campbell going to do? Now it's Peros in a way, but it's become this whole like separate entity. And so I don't think they're dumb or anything like that, but I think they are completely inconsistent. And it's just tricky in hockey. Like a cross check in the course of a game or later could be as minimal as just like a game misconduct or as bad as a horrible suspension. It's going to hurt the Leafs that he's out for 5 games. They got piss poor opponents, so he's back for the Vegas game. But even if you said now, if you knew you're going to get 5 games for that, I would still be okay with what he did.
Clarkey, what do you think of it?
Well, honestly, I think he should have got 10 games. And you might say, well, why? Well, because we got to eliminate these cross checks to the head. Yeah. And if you look at Brendan Gallagher elbowing a guy skating through the neutral zone, he should have got 12 games to 15
I was
games.
just going to say that.
That's the problem. We've got immune to these little wee 2-game suspensions, 1-game suspensions. If they ever really want to make it a Department of Player Safety, then start giving some more tougher suspensions. Honestly, like what Morgan Rielly did was, hey, I agree with you, Gentile. It was heroic. And as soon as that guy slapped it in the net, I yelled out. I was at my buddy Harry's. I yelled out. I go, get that guy. Right? Because I was pissed off, just like Morgan Rielly was. But you can't cross-check a guy in the head.
No. Right idea and poor execution.
Right. So,
you know what you're right about, Clarkey? I have no problem if you making the case for 10 games plus. Because go back and watch the Dale Hunter hit on Pierre Turgeon.
Right.
I watched that as a kid live, and I thought that was the most heinous thing you've ever seen. Watch it now. It's light.
Right. I know.
Turgeon just gets up. It wasn't. It was actually like the Rielly thing was technically worse than what Hunter. And you would have never thought that.
Like what would Todd Bertuzzi get now?
I don't know.
Oh,
game misconduct.
Game misconduct. Maybe
he'd
2 games.
He'd maybe get 15 games.
But this is the point. We don't know. We're not even close with what actually should happen. So 5 felt like a guess, but that even wasn't based on what we think it was right.
Yeah,
that's based on what we think they're going to do. But they've definitely gotten softer.
Yeah, like Jacob Trouba slashes a guy in the head. Like you cannot tell me he did not mean to do that.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too, ridiculous. Where like earlier in the year, people were wondering if this was going to be 6, 7, 8 because and there's that Trouba slash that should have been 10. That's a joke. And you talk about a guy that rides the line. I like Jacob Trouba, but man, that guy he rides it. David Perron got 6 games for basically this exact same thing. And it was in the heart of play during a game too. It was after a whistle, mind you. But like, I do think that they came down a little harder than people were hoping maybe on Rielly, those who wanted 2 or 3 games because he has a clean record, which I think is a goofy thing to bring into. You should suspend the act.
Absolutely.
I think that because it was at the end of the game and it was retaliatory after a goal, I think that that's maybe what hurt him and tacked on the in-person hearing. Maybe. And they came out like but I'm speculating. We don't know. And like Mike said, like George Peros, Stefan Quintal, all these guys. Yeah, they're not dumb. George Peros went to pardon me, he didn't go to Harvard. He went to Princeton. Like he is not dumb.
But what's wrong with him like facing the music and coming on?
I would rather him be more public
than a video. And those videos, by the way, the league used to come to Leafs TV. We used to put those together.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And they used to come and say, hey, can you guys get this video together and send it to us? Like,
what I have a problem with, though, and Mike, I'd be curious your thoughts on this, is, we end up always having to compare these suspensions, and you brought it and producer Adam rolled it there for us. That Gallagher hit on Adam Pelech, I thought that was the dirtiest play I've seen in hockey this year. I immediately watched it live. When I saw it, I was like, that's 12 games.
Well, about hockey.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is sick. What completely targeted, premeditated.
100%.
He took 7 strides to get to him. He watched him down the ice. He jumps and he lifts his elbow way up there to make sure I'm going to get every chunk of this guy's head.
Here's why that's worse.
Gross.
Here's why that's worse. Rielly was reacting to what seemed to be a disrespectful play at the end of the game. At the end of the game.
Yep.
What was Gallagher doing? Trying to get the puck? Like, what was the context of this hit that we're watching now? What was the context? He just went up and gave a guy a dirty hit.
Yeah.
So
someone's going to kill someone.
So I think
break someone's neck.
Honestly, I felt Rielly's was a little more accidental. In a way, I don't think the intention was, I want to cross-check this guy in the face.
Agreed. Yep.
It's like, I want to get this guy for what he did.
Yeah.
And he ended up making, honestly, a poor decision. He should have dropped the stick. He didn't need his stick. He should have just punched him in the face. And and we would not be having this conversation. Yeah. But back to the department. Here's what they should have done. When did Peros take over exactly?
I don't know.
A couple of years?
It's a while now.
It's been a while, right?
Say something like 2014, 15, because it was right after Brendan got hired.
So here's what they should have done or should do in the future. When someone new takes over, there's a new sheriff in town. We're establishing rules. We don't care about the past. Don't show me the Dale Hunter. Don't show me the Gallagher. All that stuff doesn't matter. We're going to reestablish now, and we're going to be harsh. So guess what? You're going to hit someone in the face with a stick? 10 games is going to be your minimum. Oh, but what about... I don't care. Yeah, but what about that other hit? What? It doesn't matter. This is the new set of rules. Too bad. Because what happens is we start piecing all these pieces of evidence, and you can make cases that Rielly's was one of the worst of all time, and you can make the case it was one of the more mildest suspensions of all time. You can make a case on either side. So what they should have done is just reestablish what they want to do. And if you want to get that stuff out of the game, trust me, if every player knows suspensions start with the number 10,
right?
You're dropping that stick. You're not doing it. You just know.
That's what I'm saying.
Like anything else. So I agree. So so that's what's hard about it. Like the 5 but makes sense in a broken system.
But here's the problem. Everyone comes to the defense of the accused, right? So the NHLPA, the agents, everyone will come to their defense. And, we were hoping to have McAllister on. We're going to have him on a little later. But I tell you, like, that's the problem. There's so many. They can't just make a decision now. I mean, they can. Ultimately, they can. But every one of them others are behind every.
And no one advocates for the actual person that gets hit, like for the
exactly.
That's what I'm
saying. That's the thing. Yeah. That's where the NHLPA people often forget that they jump on George Peros and they jump on the department.
Yeah.
The NHLPA.
Like, why wasn't Ridley Gregg on that call? He said after. He said after. I don't think he really meant to hit me in the head. Like, I don't know if it would have made a difference, but they should have the guy who got hit on these calls.
And then where do you guys come down on the injury? Because here's the thing. If you get into an accident because of how wild you drive your car, your punishment will be different if the person you hit dies in that accident or not.
Yeah.
It actually is the whole part of the punishment is not the act. The act is second. The result is first. Here we do it the opposite. Here we do, what was the act? And then it's like, oh, but so-and-so is injured, or
he's fine. Ridley Craig is fine.
And he's totally fine. So I wondered to throw one back at you guys. Like, do you think if someone is injured and misses time that should factor into the decision?
The only problem I have with that, and yes, off the top of my head, I would say yes. However, if it's Ryan Reeves who got cold cocked, he might just let him sit for a few games. But if it's Austin Matthews, guess what? He's coming back sooner.
Yeah.
Right.
So you can't do tell. Yeah. Like, I agree. Like, you can't say this person is out for as long as that person is injured.
Yeah.
You can't, because it all like it opens up to a lot of sneakiness. So not that, but I just wonder where you should consider that. Like, like if he went down and suffered a concussion and was out the rest of the year, or if he broke his neck, it's going to be different.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it probably should be.
And it should be.
I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. I mean, it's just
like, and then you see
it's a guttural thing, like that you feel. You go, oh, that's worse.
And like honestly, like, we've talked, at least Ryan, I have, about cross-checking in this league for a long time now. Like,
it's out of
I
control.
honestly think, like, back in the COVID playoffs, like, the Leafs were cross-checked out of that playoff. Like, it was unbelievable how many cross-checks. Austin Matthews probably broke a rib the other day when he got cross-checked in the ribs, but it's fine because, cross-checking is part of the game. No, it's not. It's in the rule book. It's a penalty. And not even penalties are called. Like Sam Bennett in front of the net with Michael Bunting, cross-checks him in the neck and then gives him another shot when he's down. No penalty. Like, I don't understand where the rule.
You're bang on. A cross-check is no different than kicking somebody with your skate. Think about it. They're both have nothing to do with the play of the game.
Yeah.
And it's not called. And then they say, oh, it's going to be called now. No, it's not. It's still not called. Like, I'm sorry, but it's not. It's worse. It's a joke. The officiating is an absolute joke.
It's a weird balance because you're not taking violence out of the game. So you can remove fighting, but you can't remove violence. So it's
I'd rather have fighting. I might sound like Don Cherry here, but I'd rather have two guys drop the gloves and go at it than guys cross-checking each other in the head.
I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, oh my God, like, what am I, 90 years old here? But but I was thinking, it's like, well, the more you take that out, the more the other things get ramped up. Because hockey players aren't going to be less violent. They're just going to use their violence in a different
way. Yeah.
Now they've cleaned it up in terms of there's way less goons in the league. So that part's worked. If they wanted to get rid of those kind of scrubs, yes, it's worked. Now the league, you are way more valuable if you are skilled than if you are tough. Right? If you're skilled and you can maybe get up to a third line, you have a lot of value to a team. If you were Colton Orr today, we always go back to him, you have no use to a team. Ryan Reeves, to be honest, no real use to a team. In terms of how it's gone. So they've done a good job with that part.
See, Imperos remembers Colton Orr pulling him down and have him hitting the chin on the ice. Right? Yeah. That was a scary moment. I was there in Montreal that day.
Yeah.
And it was a scary moment. And I don't know. I'm not saying that's why Imperos. That's not why the Leafs are the most suspended team since he took over. But it could have something to do with it. Anyway, Gentile, how much time? How are you doing for time here?
I got 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Well, I genuinely wonder too. Just keep in mind they haven't exactly Tom Wilsoned any of your guys, Clarkey, because that was a whole fiasco too, and that kind of plays into what I'm going to chat with Steve McAllister about. Of course, worked with the NHLPA in the 90s. It's again this conversation of yes, it is a double-edged sword. It might even be a triple-edged sword. It's the league, it's the department, and it's the Players Association. People often love to forget that in these freakouts over suspensions, too harsh, not harsh enough. The Players Association, they come in there, they set up this neutral arbitrator. They don't like a few years ago, the competition committee tried to pass a thing where there would be a minimum suspension for what they called violent stick infractions. The PA shot it down. They don't want that stuff.
That's
because
right.
they lose because what happens, Clarkey? They lose salary.
Yeah, nearly
And
$200,000 Riley
they
lost.
don't like that.
No, of course they don't.
So
of course they don't.
It's
Then you know what?
Paying that
hill
money.
to climb.
Then like do something about the salary. Okay, you get a 10-game suspension, lose $100,000. Like whatever, right? Like it shouldn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. And like this argument
one.
where people, and I know there's a guy who's going to be talking to me about this. Our friend Doigie actually just called me, and he's probably wants to talk about how well the Leafs played on Tuesday night without Morgan Rielly, because he doesn't like Morgan Rielly.
Yeah,
it's
like
a stupid argument that the Leafs have a better record. They play differently. There's no question about it. You know what the Colorado Avalanche record is without Cale Makar in the lineup? In 22-23, it was 17-3-2. Okay, so that means they don't need him in the lineup, I guess. Overall, it's 71-47-21. The Rangers without Adam Fox in their lineup are 9-4-2. It's just a stupid argument. Like,
well, Leafs have a good record with Matthews out, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
And that, so people look at, oh, they could win with no. It's actually a compliment to the player, because it proves the team realizes how valuable that player is.
Thank you.
They all have to pick it up more.
Thank you.
And play better. And at times it proves that people sit on their ass.
Yes.
And just let other people do all the work.
Exactly.
So if you
clip that, Adam. That's going to be a clip for this week's show right there. Won't you send it to Doigie?
Yeah. Like if like people think like, oh, they're better without that person. All right. You know what? Roll the dice and have no Rielly. Flip Rielly with John Klingberg.
Yeah, exactly.
In the standings. Someone going to make the argument they're in the same spot? Are you kidding? How about out of the playoffs? Because they're barely in it now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you can take a out for a year and you have the same results.
Ridiculous. Come on.
Mike, I want to ask you in closing, 70 goals. Do you think he's going to do it? Austin Matthews? Think he's going to do it?
Potentially. You know, I got ripped for this one when I said if he scores 70, you don't have to hand him the Hart Trophy. It was like, well, what are you talking about? If you score 70, no one's done 70 in forever. Well, he could score 70 and be the greatest goal scorer in the game. Doesn't make him the MVP of the league necessarily, but listen, he is. I can't find a comp for him these days. When he's around, like McDavid's got speed and he beats you in a different way. You know, Wayne set people up as much as he scored. Mario barreled through people. Austin is, I almost can't explain this guy. Wherever he is, if the puck is on his stick, I'm immediately thinking it's in the back of the net. He could be at the blue line, behind the net. Like, I've never seen a guy who is more of a threat. Like, I use this example, and Clarkey will like this one from baseball. You know, these guys that they get up and they have a batting stance that just makes you wet your pants. Like, they get up and they have that stance. It used to be McGuire. Aaron Judge is a good one for right now. They get up and you're the first thing you're thinking of, oh my God, there's a chance this ball's going out of the stadium. Oh my, I can't look at it. That's Matthews. He gets near that puck and you've never felt a threat like that. So I think he's definitely on pace. I think his pursuit of 70 and now with Connor's 6 assists, he's in striking. Like, Connor might win the scoring title. It's a very good chance that he's crawled all the way back in. So seeing those two together is pretty insane. But yeah, the push for 70, I definitely think it can happen. Just on raw skill, his health is good. He doesn't seem to be held back with anything like he had with the wrist last year. There's no off year for him or whatever, and nothing else has changed. And he can kind of do it with, it doesn't matter who's on his line, right? Like if there's an injury, you can't say, oh, so-and-so's off the first line. Now Austin's going to kind of go in a slump. Like any of us two can go on that line with him. He's probably going to do the same thing. He's just that good.
I don't care. I don't care. All I want is for them to make the playoffs and for him to score 20 to 25 in the playoffs. I don't care how many he gets.
Yeah. Do it in the playoffs.
Do it in the playoffs.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, can I leave you with one thing?
Yeah.
Yes, I was at All-Star, so I was there for the Thursday and the Friday. So they had the draft and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so what was buried that night or that weekend was this NHL Alumni Man of the Year award. They actually gave it out to the 67 Leafs. So it wasn't a single person. They gave it out, and they had 5 members of that team. So we've seen this before. You bring these old players out to talk about the old times and blah, blah, blah. So Dave Keon is there, and it really, really struck me. He's talking as if 1967 was yesterday. Like the emotion and how he was describing it was really interesting. And he's like, no one gave us a chance against Chicago. They all thought we were done and we beat them. And then we faced the Habs and it was too late. By the time they realized we were giving them a fight, it was too late. It was too late. The series was going to be over. So first was the emotion of it. Like, wow, like he was talking about it like it was yesterday. But the most interesting part, it was something I've been thinking about ever since. They all talked about how they were not the best team that year. Fully admitted they were not the best team that year, but they had to be the best team at that time. And so so we keep waiting for teams to be perfect. They need this defenseman. Now they need this goalie. Okay, the top three lines, if they only added this, and we're trying to play like fantasy hockey, it doesn't matter in a way. You just got to be good at that time. Do you have enough juice that you can get hot and win? And it's actually not being the best team in the end. You have the best results, you get the most wins, but it was proof that the best team doesn't always win. And then you're like, that's right. Florida went to a Stanley Cup last year. The Dallas Stars went to a cup. Like you don't.
St. Louis Blues were in last place.
The Blues won the cup, right?
Won the cup.
Washington, like so.
I know.
It just strikes me from a Leaf perspective. We could sit around debating and waiting for them to be the quote perfect team, and this is the team that's going to do it. You know what? If they have enough talent on that team that if they just put their heads together, they can do it. They just haven't done it.
Yeah.
Then we could argue maybe the attitudes of the certain players don't have enough toughness or whatever. But this whole thing of like you got to be perfect to win, it's not true.
And the two guys who have taken a lot of heat this year, Domi and Bertuzzi, those guys were brought in because they're playoff performers. Let's see what they're like. Hopefully they make it, but let's see what they're like in the playoffs. And who cares at the end of the day if they perform in the playoffs and the Leafs win what they did in the regular season? Like how many more reminders do Leaf fans need? The regular season means nothing except making the playoffs.
It's a good sign if you don't look great in the regular season. In a way, you know what I mean? Like if you could just kind of get by. Because I'll be honest, if a series started tomorrow, like look at some of the closer Leafs numbers, they have slowly gotten tougher. They have slowly gotten a little tougher to play against. I still think they have ways to go. I still think teams like Florida manhandle people differently. I get it, but they've slowly gotten a little bit tougher. And they do have more guys that would strike you as mid players during the regular season, but a clutch player in the postseason. A guy like Max Domi is perfect for that, right? He's not going to win you fantasy hockey trophies.
No.
But that's a guy who strikes me to be a difference maker in one game. And he's got some offensive skill. It wouldn't be a shocker to see him score a goal. Like he's a guy that breaks through and scores in overtime.
Right.
Suddenly you're like,
he better.
Oh, a 2-2 series. We're now up 3-2.
Right. No, exactly.
He better. Exactly. Hey.
And I'm going to leave you with this one last thing. Last night in the game, some guy tweeted this last night. Here's the names of the players from last night's game. Domi, Nylander, Bertuzzi, McCabe, Thomas, Shen, Kessel, Kapanen, and Tucker. Just not the same ones that kind of we think about when we hear those names. Isn't that crazy?
Exactly.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's a good one for sure. Hey, you never know where you're going to get a playoff hero. When my guys did it, look at Ovi there with that cup. Look at that. Devontae Smith-Pelly, fourth liner. He scored 3 goals in the cup final. You don't know where you're going to find the hero.
Just don't know.
You just don't know.
Thanks,
don't know. We're keeping rolling the dice. Mike, thanks for doing this, my friend.
Anytime, guys. It was a pleasure as always.
We will be right back. To end off the show, of course, we've got a special guest coming up. Clarkey doesn't know. We got a special guest coming up for the Conway Furniture Couch Potato of the Week. We'll chat a little bit about our friends at Larry Hudson's, of course, the squash courts. And we've got to talk about how the golf picks shook out at the Waste Management Open. Let's just say I came out of it very happy. That's next here on Instigating. Wrapping things up this week on another fun edition of Instigating with Clarkey and Drury. Ryan Drury back here with Clarkey. It's time
what's
for
going
couch
on?
Potatoes, Clarkey.
What is going on?
Look. We have to transition.
What's going on though? You're doing something that I'm not aware of.
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I'm liking
Conway
this.
Furniture. No, it's going to be fine. Our friends at Conway Furniture, you're not in trouble or anything, dude.
I know, but
you have a look. You look like you're about to get sent to the principal's office or something.
I don't know what's happening.
You do?
You're
not acting up in class.
All of a sudden,
it's okay.
like, we're on Zoom here. Let's explain what happened. We're on Zoom, and then all of a sudden, I get this. Someone's entered the waiting room, and I'm like, "Who's this guy entering the waiting room?" And you go, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." And I'm like, "I'm going to just remove this guy."
No. Listen, I have for the first time ever a outside of the organization, which consists of you, me, and producer Adam. This is an outside the organization self-imposed couch potato nomination. Okay. And let me tell you a little bit about it. All right. Our friend Alan at the squash courts.
Oh, that Alan. See, I didn't even know.
I've been hearing from people that I don't know if people know. We don't mention this enough. Actually, our friends at the squash courts. It's easy to sign up, play at the squash courts and all that. Alan also does gymnastics in there. And I've heard from a few people that like it's gotten a little stale over there. People are getting a little bored with it. You know, they want to shake it up. And, you know, we can bring Alan in now if you like, producer Adam, because look, there's some things that we've been hearing. Okay, like I've had people stop me on the street. People have stopped me on the street and said, "You're the instigating guy." And that's all great. We love Clarkey and the deals are hot at Larry Hudson's, all that stuff. We get it, right? But we also have the squash courts. And Alan has, for the first time in show history, self-nominated himself as the couch potato over this gym stuff. And people have said, "Oh, you know, it's gotten a little stale over there. We're doing this." And Alan, I wish there was something different going on. And here's Alan. Alan, you're in here. Why don't you defend yourself? You nominated yourself. Explain to me what's going on. You're the couch potato.
Yeah. I just wanted to maybe bring some light to the background of gymnastics, like the behind the scenes stuff. I've gotten lots of feedback from parents, and I'm a parent with a young daughter, and she loved gymnastics. But you're right, it got a little stale. The program isn't really structured very well, or as well as it could be, I guess. I'm working with the coaches right now, coaches from other clubs. I've went and checked out other programs, and we're going to alter it. So it's going to be more of a skill-based club rather than age. So 6 to 8s right now are junior co-ed, and after a session, they come back to the next session and kind of redo it again. So we're going to change that. So there's going to be skill 1 through 10. When they pass skill 1, they move on to skill 2 classes. Things like that. So then it's really good for kids to progress in gymnastics itself.
There you go. Alan has admitted to being a couch potato, and now you're almost a double couch potato. You're going the other way. You're gonna admit to being the lazy couch potato, but now you're gonna be the guy kicking back because you're putting the work in.
Yeah. It kind of snuck up on me, to be honest. We're a new club to Listowel, so kind of bringing gymnastics into the community with a fresh start. And yeah, we kind of dropped the ball there a bit, or I did personally. I'm definitely picking up the ball now, working with lots of people. I had a meeting the other night late. Been doing it a couple times a week, just trying to figure out what's going to best suit our club.
There you go. Well, and I like the self-admission. I like the self-admission of guilt. Don't you wish, Clarkey, that Alan played for the Leafs and would just admit, you know, when they don't work hard? Don't you just wish Alan was a Toronto Maple Leafs player, Clarkey? There's your big surprise.
That's a real tough question to ask. I wish Al MacArthur was a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Wow. But he went to a game the other night. That much I know.
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah. It was
took in another loss.
Yeah, they lost, but you know what? The end was awesome. It made I have a 10-year-old son. It was his first game, and he's
been on this show.
Yes, Declan. Yep. Yeah.
Declan's been on.
Yeah.
It was some core memories made for both of us.
That's good stuff, man.
Now let's talk. Let's talk a little bit about squash since we have him on.
Well, of course. Yeah. Let's do that.
Like Drury tells me that he actually beats you and you're actually putting 100% effort into those games. Can you confirm or deny?
So this is okay. So I'm gonna put this as polite as I can. Okay. And I have a little secret. Nobody really knows this.
You've been playing left-handed.
No.
No.
No, I cork my rackets. No. So what happens is if I'm going 100% competitively, I'll be wearing shorts. Okay. If I'm just going in to hit the ball around and have a good time and rally and play and
pants.
I'm in my jogs. So Ryan, you answer the question. Have I ever played you in shorts?
Once.
This is a tough question.
It was a warm game.
It's not a tough question. It's not a tough question. I got to be honest, Al, you really sewered me, man. You really sewered me here. And
this is the old double reverse. See,
I gotta be honest. I don't appreciate this sewering. We let you come on here and you admit you're doing this, that, and the other. Look, I don't like this. This is not
trying to be honest across.
Yeah, he didn't say anything. He just
you torpedoed me. You torpedoed me. You're a U-boat right now, and I am an unknowing ship on calm, I thought waters. This is not fair. No, what I will say though is like I just started playing squash in September. Al and I just get together and hang out. Like we're playing.
You should get him a little 30-minute session, courtesy Listowel squash courts with Josh, and he would learn a lot.
Yeah, we can do that for sure. Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, it's something.
Josh is our instructor.
I consider. Yeah. I like playing Al. It's fun. It just gets me out. It's a good start to my Tuesdays and Thursdays. Al, I need you to at least admit though that we've had some good games, and even though you're giving me 98%, I've still had some pretty nice wins against you that even impressed me.
Yeah, you're right. We do have some good rallies. You've come a long way since September, and that's what people just have to remember about squash. You just have to put in the. I was saying on Tuesday or yesterday, whatever it was, but Tuesday when we played in the morning, I was saying to you, I wish I had a clip of the first week we played, because you could really see how far you've come. You put in the time, you get better, and then you start working on different aspects of the game.
You know who else was like that was Mike Benjamins, who's now one of the best at the club. He
never played squash before this club. Yeah. So he started off with this club, and he's insanely progressed through the years. It's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Sure. I need you to admit one more thing before we hear Clarkey's couch potato. I need you to admit one more thing for me. There is one shot in my arsenal that's very lethal. Tell everyone about it.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, it is. It's a very good shot. It looks like it's going to go back wall, sidewall in the corner, but it always goes sidewall, back wall, and it just completely changes the angle. I'm already lunging the other way, and you just kind of walk it off like it's just the natural, right? It's good. It's a good one. Yeah,
it's a good shot. It's a little scorpion backhand, and it really changes things up. Okay, and I break it out when I'm trailing because I need it.
Oh, what would you say is the over-under of how many points he would get against me?
You'd be lucky to get a couple. If you were going gung-ho. Yeah.
I had a good day last Tuesday. I beat everyone there except Parkhouse. So I was hot. Like the deals.
He was hot. He was hot. Yes.
You had a fun control, Clarkey. Like, you know where to put it, and you're well aware of where the guy is, which really helps. And that stage of squash comes. It's just you got to get to that point, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm working on right now. I've been trying to sail shots over Al's head. I'm getting a little more aware because I've just been trying to like hit the ball. I just go in there and survive. There's the other thing too. I don't even want to play this competitively. I don't care. I just like playing. I don't care to like beat anybody. It's just fun.
It is fun.
And that's the great thing about the squash courts, Al. Like, you know, it's for everybody. Like, if you want to come down and just have a good time and hit the ball and like learn the sport, absolutely. You don't have to go in there and be uber competitive with people. You can just come in and have a good time, man. It's for everybody.
Yep, for sure. It opens it up across the board, even kids or elderly, like Clarkey's in there, right? So
Whoa.
You got the discounts, don't you? You get the
Adam, clip that. Clip that. That's great. That made up for sewering me earlier. That
I could be both you guys at the same time.
It out, right? Even it out a bit.
Dude. Oh my God. That's fantastic. Okay. Listen, Al and I basically combined on my couch potato. It's our couch potato.
Yeah.
It's Al.
Yeah.
So Clarkey, tell us a little bit about your couch potato this week.
Okay, so my couch potato this week is not just one person. It's not just it's the entire NHL officiating conglomerate. So the on-ice officials, the off-ice officials, the Department of Player Safety, they're all my couch potato because, first of all, start calling the rules as they are in the rule book. A cross-check is a cross-check. Call it. Wayne Simmons gets cross-checked in the head in the playoffs a few years back from Montreal, and they don't get a penalty. They don't get a suspension. Nothing. Austin Matthews gets cracked ribs maybe a month, 2 months ago. No call. Jake McCabe.
That's a bad one. Yeah,
it's
the Simmons one.
And then Jake McCabe gets interfered with. A blind spot, a blind headshot. No penalty. The ref actually has the gall to go over to Sheldon Keefe after the next period starts and says it was a clean hit. There was nothing wrong with it. But then he gets fined $5,000 for an illegal interference hit. There's way too much. I've said it all along, Ryan. They need to bring one of those off-ice officials up to the press box and call games by watching from up there because it's too fast and they can't do it on the ice. It's terrible. Dude, it's getting worse. And then start calling real suspensions. I think I might have thrown you off today earlier when I said I think Morgan Rielly should have got 10 games because he should have. You shouldn't.
I was surprised by that. Yes.
Yeah, you shouldn't be able to cross-check a guy in the head. But in the same vein, Brendan Gallagher should have got 30 games. It's just way too lenient, way too light, and they're never going to clean up the game unless they fix it. So there's my couch potato of the week.
I'm always down for putting the overall officiating / punishment system of the NHL as it could be a weekly couch potato. It really could. It could be a daily.
No question. It's terrible.
This was a daily show.
Ottawa, and that's the other thing. That Ottawa game. Ottawa played a perfect game. They didn't make one infraction the whole game. It's amazing.
Yeah,
they played perfect. Is. They didn't slash anyone. They didn't cross-check anyone. They didn't interfere with anyone. They didn't trip anyone. Nothing.
Absolutely. Thanks to our friend Al for jumping on here. Al's busy.
Gone. Boom.
He's got stuff to do.
Gone.
Well, he's got stuff to do. He's going to be scheduling this new gym stuff. Remember, the Listowel squash courts, they also featured gym classes. Yeah. Very easy to sign up online with our friend Al over there. Yeah, no, I agree, and it's a joke. And I just look back on all the times they picked on Ovechkin and most recently Tom Wilson, to put my biased fan hat on. I'm like, how come my guy's getting 20 game suspensions for stuff that they reduced to 16, and Brendan Gallagher threw a hit that I felt was worse than any hit that Tom Wilson's ever thrown the other day, and nope. That's 5
games. Yep.
But Tom Wilson hits a guy too hard and he falls down and cries. Got to give him 4 for that, 6 for that, 20 for that.
It's so inconsistent.
I understand the repeat offender thing, but that's a joke too. Mm-hmm. The whole thing of it makes me mad. Anyway.
Yeah.
Here's something that's going to make me really happy. Let's touch on that actually.
Deals are
friends
hot.
At Larry Hudson's. Thanks to our friends at Conway Furniture, by the way, for the couch potatoes. And now Larry Hudson's deals are always hot. It's truck month still.
Still Hudson's truck month, and we have a great deal of trucks. The lease rates have come down on some. There's a cash bonus, cash credit, $6,000 on some select 24s. And the stock we have now, if you haven't been to the building yet, the dealership, come on out. Drive to the back of the building and you'll see all our inventory back there. It's loaded up, ready to go. And there's nothing like a new truck.
There's nothing like a new truck. And let me tell you something else too. Go see our friends at Larry Hudson's. And if you already have a rep, great. If not, Clarkey right here, this guy would be happy to help you. I just want to comment quickly on the truck. who shot that very professional viz of the side scroll of the truck
Someone
line?
in our marketing department. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you?
No,
Okay.
that's our marketing department.
You know what? You didn't have to tell me that because it was very professional and looked really good.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like it was on an iPhone or something, Clarkey's iPhone. It was like,
it might have
really
been on
nice.
an iPhone, but you know what we've invested in? A gimbal.
Oh, you've got because I was going to say that's
a
my girlfriend Kate is a professional videographer, and that looked like a really clean. Let's see it, Adam, here. Look at this clean, smooth
the gimbal
push.
Keeps everything level and nice, and it's really
it's got like a little equalizer thing on it. They're really cool, those gimbals, and they're, like for a good one, they're pretty pricey. That's a really nice, clean push. So look, our friends at Larry Hudson Chevrolet Buick GMC can never be a couch potato. Brought to you by Conway Furniture, because they put the work in right there, and that's why the deals are hot.
That was probably
the deals hot.
That was probably
the video. Allie, the video content hot, just like the deals at Larry Hudson's.
Exactly.
All right, listen. There's something else before we end the show.
What do you mean? There's something else?
Yeah. There's. Let's get down to the
We're
important
done.
stuff.
I gotta go.
No, listen. We made golf picks last week for the Waste Management Open. Doigie, Clarkey, and I.
Do we have time to get Doigie on?
No. This really didn't go well, by the way. We'll get Doigie on soon. Maybe next week after the Genesis Invitational, which we will make picks for. This didn't go well for the guys. I'll refresh your memory, and producer Adam has the results here. I had Justin Thomas, Hideki Matsuyama, Sam Burns, and Thigala. Clarkey rolled with Scotty Whiskey Mitts Scheffler, Max Homa, who missed the cut. Clarkey lost a stroke because of that. Matty Skechers Fitzpatrick, and Sunjay M. And Doigie had Spieth, Cam Young, Wyndham Clark, and Rick Fowler, who also missed the cut. All four of my golfers made it. Remember, we only count your top three scores. I come in with a dominating minus 47. Clarkey is in last at minus 29. Doigie at minus 32. I won by 15 strokes. I'm Tiger at the U.S. Open. So we're going to go for a three-peat here at the Genesis Open. We will reveal next week what our teams are. We'll tweet them out. We'll share them all on social media as we've been doing. But Clarkey, I don't know how long this pick-off is going to last between you, me, and Doigie, because if I'm going to win by, double-digit strokes every week, I don't know how much longer you guys are going to be able to put up with that. I might have to recuse myself.
Thank you very much for that. Now let's get right to the Super Bowl predictions and see who picked who for the Super Bowl. And yes,
far less
somebody
important.
Picked the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. Something far less important. Yeah. There we go. Now the scores weren't exactly right. I thought it was going to be a little higher scoring.
Everyone
there
did.
You go. You
Everyone
had the
did.
Niners. I had the Chiefs. Clarkey wins that one. So we're 1-1 of the week. We're 1-1. You won the golf. I won the Super Bowl. Well, there's no arguing that.
Right.
There's no arguing that whatsoever.
You're 1.5. I'll give you a point because you didn't predict the score right. So you actually way overshot it. So look, I congrats on your Super Bowl pick.
Thanks.
Good for you.
Congrats on your waste management picks. Were you there? Were you one of those stumbling guys?
Dude, you know what I read the other day? Speaking of that, I listened to Shotgun Start and Laying Up. Those are two unbelievable golf podcasts. You got to listen to those. Give some podcast love. Listen, there were, over the course of the weekend, the field was 152, 156. Over the course of the 4 days at the Waste Management, they call it the People's Open, the Party Open. 130 people were taken out unconscious, not heat stroke or a medical, something
they
serious.
Stopped serving booze
otherwise
at 9 a.m, didn't they? In one day,
they stopped on Saturday and Sunday. They stopped serving at noon local time.
Yeah,
because players complained after the Thursday and Friday. Dude,
it used to be fun, and now
I thought Adam Scott was going to fight a guy outside the ropes there, and there were a couple people on 16 because 16's the big. There were a couple golfers over the weekend that were not very stoked. It went a little over the top. 130 people yanked out
crazy.
Just because they were blackout drunk.
It's not good.
I don't know, guys. Like hey, I'm all for having fun. I love it. If I was down there, I'd have a couple cocktails too. A couple cocktails.
Mhm.
Like, are we golfing or are we at, freshman year of college? Like, let's dial it back a little bit, guys. Otherwise, they'll stop doing it. Or in the very least, they'll crack down on how many fans are allowed in. And like, we don't want that. Just calm down on it. Geez, Scottsdale just friggin' going nuts. The drinking was hot, but not hotter than the deals with our friends at Larry Hudson Chevrolet Buick GMC. Thanks to them. And of course, Conway Furniture, Highway 86 East End of Listowel. Deals you see in there, all the prices. They got great deals, and the prices you see on everything includes HST and delivery. And of course, Alan and everybody down at the Listowel Squash Courts. Easy to sign up, and they have a Facebook page. You can sign up through the Facebook page. There's a link there available. You can watch the show Friday nights at 8, Sunday nights at 9 with our friends on Whiteman TV. That's channel 6 for Whiteman subscribers. By the way, we debut on our YouTube channels Friday nights at 9. Instagram and Twitter. Social media, give us a follow at Instigating Pod. And remember, you can find the podcast version on all your favorite podcast apps. Clarkey, been another fun week. Good luck with your golf picks this week.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Going for three-peats. I'm like Mahomes and Kelsey. I'm going for a three-peat at the Genesis. Go Leafs, I guess. Fine. Ovi, 6 straight games with a goal. Not dead yet, Wayne. Not dead yet. Let's go.
Taylor
Swift and Kelsey.
You can't do it.
It doesn't work for me. They don't like the camera doesn't like me. It never has. Why am I in this business? Instigating. Thanks for listening and watching. We'll see you next week.